Faculties kindly ask the students to join for the SCC orientation. All the students.
Sir.
Good morning, everyone. Ramesh sir, can we start the session? Rajesh Raina sir, can we start the session?
Yes,
Good
yes,
morning
sir.
to all.
Yes.
Good morning to all. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. Be king. Yeah, very welcome to our honorable chief guest, respected chancellor, pro-chancellor, planning and development, pro-chancellor for academics, vice president, vice chancellor, registrar, controller of examination, dean, directors, HODs, professors, and students of VISTAS. Today, we all have gathered here to discuss about a very important topic on Supreme Court cases online training session. I would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Rajesh Raina, Senior Trainer, Supreme Court Cases Online, for accepting our invitation and presiding over here for this webinar on SCC online training session. I extend my gratitude to Mr. Suresh Kumar, Library Librarian, and Mr. Prabhakaran, Assistant Librarian, for the effort to conduct a webinar today. I am sure that you will feel enriched with knowledge after the completion of this webinar. I welcome you all once again to the webinar and hope that you will have a great time ahead. Now I invite our resource person, Mr. Rajesh Raina, to take over this section. Thank you all.
Thank you, and very good morning to all the participants. I especially thank the all the dignitaries, the dean, the HOD, and the rest of the office staff over here, and of course the students who are present as of now. So thank you all of you. And as far as the SCC Online is concerned, it not only will have access to the judgments from Supreme Court of India, it covers a gamut of other jurisdictions, and secondary databases materials are there, like the statutory law or the Constituent Assembly debates and so on and so forth. So without further ado, I'll just share my screen and then we'll start with the presentation. Just give me a minute while I share my screen. So I've shared my screen. I hope that it is visible.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is the home. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So this is the home page of SCC Online, that is scconline.com. And the links that you see over here are many links are there. And to begin with, I'll start with the data coverage as I was talking just now. It has the Supreme Court judgments from 1950. But what else? We have the other databases like Federal Court and Privy Council, which begin from 1872 till 1950. Those are also available. And of course, we have the high courts, all the high courts, that's 25 high courts across India. Those are available, the judgments of those courts. In district courts, we have some select few landmark judgments, considering we can't have in the entire database, it will be humongous as such. And the historical courts, these historical courts were actually, not the apex court was available at that time. So we had the provincial courts like Awadh, Pepsu, Rangoon, Lower Burma, to name a few. So these provincial courts were at that particular time before the independence. Then the tribunals and commissions of various, specific areas like Electricity Competition Commission of India, or NCLAT, FEMA, and TDSAT, NGT, to name a few. So all of these tribunals and commissions are also available. And the secondary materials and the statutory law that I was talking about. So in the statutory law, you'll have both central acts, the state acts, notifications, rules, regulations, circulars, etc. And in the secondary materials, we have the entire Constituent Assembly debates, beginning volume 1 to 12, which were debated just under 3 years. And we also have various reports of commissions and committees, including the Law Commission reports before independence, as well as the present ones. So these Law Commission reports, Constituent Assembly debates, I would recommend that the first SEM students should thoroughly go through this, because this is the foundation laying stone of your, degree as such. And yes, we have some international material also. We have tied up with ICLR, that is the publisher of UK, for their leading journals like Law Report, Weekly Law Report, and the rest, Business Law Report, etc. Then we have the Supreme Court judgments from SAARC countries, East Africa, South Africa, West Africa, then United States, Canada, Sri Lanka, Singapore, to name a few. And another add-on is of Hein Online. Now, that again is a separate, add-on that can be added over here. So that is what we have in the data coverage section, of course. Now let's proceed with the login process. Now in the login, when you will click, it will show you two types of logins. One is user login and the other one is IP login. Now this IP login is what we should look for in the multi-user environment where it is being subscribed by the academics. The IP login is the one which should be appearing. If it is not appearing on your login screen, then you need to, redo the steps. You need to check whether you are on the same network of the university college, or if you're accessing it from a remote software, some remote access tool, then you need to go through that once again, so that this IP login is appearing. And if you are a first time user, you need to first register here. So on the bottom link, you can't straight away log in. So for that purpose, you'll register by clicking on the register here link at the bottom. You'll enter your email ID, which will be your maybe batch ID provided by the university college, or it could be the personal ID like Gmail or Yahoo, etc. Followed by that, you'll have to enter your full name and click on the register and login. And subsequently, in the next screen, it will ask for a year of graduation, the graduating year. So you'll do the maths accordingly if you are in a 3-year course, or you are in an integrated course of 5 years or maybe LLM, etc. So you can do the maths that way. For the faculty, they can opt for the skip option in that subsequent screen where you need to register. And once you are registered, then you'll enter your registered email ID and proceed with the login, which will give you access to all the databases, all the tools that are there in the SCC Online. Now the first screen known as a main menu and called dashboard, SCC Online dashboard, comprises of these 3 sections, that is research plus, my library, and links. And the first one, that is research plus, is primarily used for doing your legal research, whether it's on the basis of a query or by searching for a judgment by a party name, or searching by a citation or a section. You want a judgments on a particular section, so you will be using the research plus section in that case. And the my library section will give you access to all the documents that are available in SCC. But yes, you don't have to perform any query. You don't have to give some input. You simply have to click and view the documents here in this second segment. Suppose I want to read an article, I'll opt for the browse articles. I want to read the section of an act, I'll go for browse acts and rules, and so on and so forth. In this segment, we also have a moot court resources, which will help you in the preparation for your moot court competitions. And it has the proposition, the winning team, and memo for both appellant, respondent, etc. So that is the moot court resources. And the third one, the third segment here, links in the charcoal gray color, denotes that you will get access to the external websites. We've tied up with Singapore Law Net for Supreme Court of Singapore, so you'll get access to those. Hein Online USA is a collection of 150 plus leading law review journals, and also it has the world constitutions, the Philip Jessup library, that's for moot court, international moot courts, and it also has the case laws from UK beginning 1220 onwards. SCC Online Blog is our micro blogging site where you get the latest information, including case briefs from all the jurisdictions. And before we publish, we prepare these case notes, and those are uploaded on the blogging site. And there is also a lot more many information for more informations in the fraternity of law. Those are available in this free access portal, that is SCC Online Blog. We'll show that as well later. Then our parent company, Eastern Company, they have a couple of website links over here. EDC Learning, where you get access to the short-term courses in law. Those are available. And EBC Web Store is our publishing company, the parent company, where you get the information as well as the listing and purchasing, etc., of all the journals published by Eastern Book Company. Now let's quickly move to the first section, that is Research Plus. And the Research Plus, the first and foremost is word search. Right. So now I'll talk about the word search here. So in the word search, this enter search term is being displayed over here, mentioned over here. So it's prompting me to enter the query. Now let's compare this with other search engines, specifically those search engines which are free access portals. And I'm sure first sem students might have used it occasionally for doing their maybe legal research like Google, Wikipedia, etc. So consider that this is a Google search engine, and now I am trying to look for judgment on a particular topic. So I'm looking for latest judgment. Let's say latest judgment on let's say defamation from Supreme Court of India. I'm keying in all the information because why? In Google, it has so many verticals. Obviously, I'll have to feed each and every aspect, the jurisdiction, which country, and I also wanted the latest, etc., etc. Now, entire sentence I have keyed in, and now we'll start the search. Results will be displayed in a while, and the results will, as you can see over here, there are judgments, there are notifications, articles, etc., on the topic of defamation. But when I see this second column, the first column is giving me the total number of results. The second column is showing me the titles of those documents or jurisdictions or databases. Now this is an article, and second one is the Supreme Court judgment. The third one is a debt recovery tribunal judgment. So I was looking for only Supreme Court, and it has showed me everything right here. And subsequently, the first among the result list text is being displayed in the third column. Now, this is a standard format. The first column will have the total number of documents. The second one will have the titles of each of them. And the third one will have the text of the one document or of that document which I select in the second column. Simple as that. That is the standard format. Now, if I want only the specific jurisdiction, we have inbuilt tool over here. I can filter that. So I'll go to the judgments in the first column, and I can see the high courts. If I expand, it will show me high courts as well. Then Supreme Court, etc. So I can filter out Supreme Court. And I'm really surprised only 2 judgments on defamation. Something went wrong over here. And this one is of 16th March 22, and the next one is 73. Nothing in between. So something has gone amiss. So what it could be? So let us go back to the dashboard by clicking on these 3.3 lines on top. From any screen, result screen, you can go back to the main menu or dashboard by clicking on this icon over there. One click on, I got it back. Now let's repeat this query with some modification. So that was Google's kind of search, but now in SCC, how it works, I'll just tell you, because we could see that we can filter the jurisdiction. So I need not mention Supreme Court of India. And there is a sorting option, which I'll show you right after this result list is displayed. So I'll leave that as well, remove that as well. And also only I am now left with the main keyword, that is defamation, as you can see over here. So that's how I'll perform my search in SCC. Now let's start the search and let's see how many results do we get. So the first column will show me the total number of results, which have now increased a humongous difference, huge manifold increase, 9,580. So I was missing out on so much of information. And if you notice, the first one in the list of all results is a digest note, which was missing earlier as well. Now, this digest note is a USP of this software, SCC. You won't find digest notes in many other softwares, the databases, illegal databases that we have. These are all summaries. Some call it summaries, just digest notes, of course, head notes, case notes, etc. Many names given to it, are prepared after thoroughly going through the entire judgments by our expert editorial team, and then they prepare law points on that particular judgment. So as a researcher, it's very useful, considering when you go through the digest note, what will happen that if it is what you are looking for in your case or in your research, then only you will switch to the full text judgment. Rather, first you will go for the summary, right? Now, when I expand this digest notes, or let's go back to the judgment and then click on this only, wherever I put my cursor on the topic or the jurisdiction, this only follows. And in front of Supreme Court, I'm clicking only. This will now deselect the rest of the databases, and only Supreme Court judgments, those are 216 number, are being displayed. The titles of those are being displayed in the second column. Now, what I want is the latest judgment. That's what I was looking for in the first thing while I was doing the query, performing the query. Now I'll opt for the sort by option in the second column, and there are 3-4 types of searches that you can do. So I'll select the chronological latest first over here, which will arrange the result list by showing displaying the latest one on top. That is 16th of March 22. The next one is at year 21, and of the month November, then October, and so on and so forth. So I was missing out on such a huge information. So what is the takeaway here? In SCC, you should always key in the main keywords. Don't go for the descriptions. The descriptions like later judgment from so and so jurisdiction and etc. Only focus on the main law point. Right. So this will ensure that you get maximum results over there. Now let's move back to the dashboard, and there's another kind of search that I'm looking for, where I have a very descriptive kind of query, which is in the form of a sentence. And again, the same principle follows. You should not enter the adjectives like and, of, the, etc., which are part of the sentence. Rather than, you should break that sentence again into main keywords. Why so? Because in SCC, it searches for all the words. So if I'm going to type a full sentence, same should be found in the judgment. All those keywords or all those words should be found in the judgment, then only they'll turn up in the result list. It's not like Google, where if partially also the words are there, it will show up that document. No, not in this case. So the sentence I'm keying in here, maybe not necessarily the same way it is being typed or mentioned in the judgment, though essence and meaning would remain same, but it could be having a slight deviation. I'm sure you will agree on this. Now, for that purpose, I'll just explain this with an example. Like, are courts bound to protect the interest of the deity in a temple or a place of worship? So again, I am putting up a kind of a question. No, I'm not sure. While putting my question, it will give me the answer. No, I'll break this into main keywords. So courts was one, protect was the other keyword, and maybe the DT was the third one. So I've broken this sentence into main 3 keywords over here: courts, protect, and DT. Now, if I start the search, it will of course show me judgments where these 3 keywords are appearing, but not necessarily they are part of a sentence. They could be appearing in separate paragraphs. So that also defeats the purpose. I want it to be part of a sentence. So I will key in a Boolean operator here known as near in capital letters. What that will ensure, this function will ensure that these keywords are appearing in a nearby word range. And what is that word range? If I scroll down, it shows near means 10 words range. So the keywords will be appearing within a word range of 10 words, and I'll get the results. Now this word range can also be increased from 10 to maximum 20. Why so? Because at times maybe it's not appearing, these three keywords are not appearing in a sentence, maybe in a 2 or 3 sentences. In that case, I can increase it to more than 10, or I can reduce it also to make it more closer together to be searched up. Now, once I start the search, it will now show me the results. Now, those will be from all the jurisdictions, whether it's a Supreme Court or a High Court and all. And you can see the results like judgments here. And when I open this this judgment of Madras High Court was there, which talks about this very particular thing, that I'll just read this sentence. The lower appellate court has, however, modified the decree of the trial courts so as to protect the defendant's right to worship the deity in the suit temple. So all these keywords, or what all I was looking for, maybe this is a meaningful result for me. That's what I was looking for, has been arrived at. I'm able to retrieve it because of this near operator. Now, apart from this proximity search or near operator function, there is another operator known as OR operator, which can be also used under certain requirements or situations where I'm looking for a particular keyword, but that keyword has a synonym also. I'm not sure whether it is mentioned in the judgment as that synonym or the other. So if I key in one, I'll miss out on the other. So to consider one to many, there the OR operator is used. I'll just explain that with an example. Okay. So let me just show you one example of a phrase search, that is cancellation of appointment. Now this cancellation of appointment, if I start search, will show me judgments, of course, on cancellation of appointment, but there will be some judgments where cancellation and appointment are appearing in separate paragraphs. So to ensure that these 2 or 3 words are searched as a one single word, I'll need to put them in double inverted commas. So whenever you are searching for a phrase search, whether it is culpable homicide, whether it is administrative reforms, or for that matter, any other public interest litigation, any phrase, you should put it in double inverted commas so that they are searched as a one word. Now let's start the search. The next screen will display, of course, all the results. It will have titles in the second column, and third column will have the text of the first one. Now I can see around 1,000 odd judgments are there on cancellation of appointment. Now I can perform a search within search, and that can be done by, just below the SCC online logo, you will find this field search within search results. And here I am looking for this cancellation of appointment of the employees who are temporary, right? And while I start the search, it will now narrow down. It will now filter within the results, not in the entire lakhs of judgments. And this is called a focus search. And this way I can keep on reducing it, narrowing it down up to filtering it down up to 6 levels, 6 steps I can perform, right? So that's one. Now I find that these are very less numbers. And what could be the reason? Let's go back to the word search and retrieve that. What was the step? That was cancellation of appointment. Okay. Now this cancellation of appointment can also be mentioned as cancelled appointment, cancelling of an appointment, right? And so on and so forth. So I am missing out on many other derivatives. So what I can do is I'll type the root word, that is cancel. After that I'll put one asterisk. Now what this asterisk will do is whether it is cancelled appointment, cancellation of appointment, cancelling of appointment, etc. It will take care of all. It will pick all of them, right? That's one. And second is I'll put the near operator so that the next keyword that I key in, that is appointment, is also searched nearby. And this appointment also I am keying in the root words, that's a point, and putting one asterisk over here. So what will happen is that it will take care, I mean, it will pick all the judgments where it is mentioned as appointed, appoints, appointment, etc., etc. So this will ensure that I am getting all these derivatives into consideration, and therefore my result list will increase. So from 1,000 odd, how many? Now we have around 6,000. So it has increased significantly. Now within this, if I now search for temporary, I realize that this temporary employee is also called as casual, right? Or it could be mentioned in the judgment as ad hoc, or both, all the three are same. But if I search for one, I'll miss out on the rest. So to ensure that all of them are simultaneously searched, I will use the or operator here, and that too has to be keyed in capital letters. So what this or will do, the software will search internally 3 times and pick up on temporary, casual, and ad hoc as well. So I am not missing out on either of these three. I mean, out of 3, all the 3 will be considered. At times it will be ad hoc, at times it will be casual, etc., etc. So therefore, my research as such is going to be perfect, and I'm not missing out on the latest information. Similarly, we also have a third operator over here known as not operator, the Boolean operator. And how this not operator has to be used? It has to be so where I want to exclude something from the results to appear. And I mean, I'm getting a huge list of results, let's say on the judgments of compensation. And then I realize that in this, I don't want the judgments on medical negligence. I don't want the judgments on land acquisition or maybe motor accident. So what all I am keying after not will be excluded from the results. And the rest, of course, I'll get the judgments on compensation. That's what this means. Now let's start the search. So here, the results will appear in a while, and then I can cross verify whether there is any judgment on, let's say, medical negligence. So I'll type negligence in search within search, and it should, and it is not showing any result, 0 results found. So that's how it has been excluded because of the not operator. So these are all advanced searches, Boolean operators, we call them, near, not, and or. And of course, the wildcard asterisk that I was talking about will take care of the derivatives, all the extensions that are there if in any permutation and combination while we are searching. Now let's move back to the dashboard and explore the other options that are available in the Research Plus section. So if I'm looking for a judgment by a section, so I'll opt for the find case law by a section. Now here I'll be keying in the Principal Act, which would be Indian Evidence Act, Indian Penal Code, Indian Contract Act. All of these were beginning with Indian. So it was giving us a huge list of results. So straight away you type the Principal Act. So instead of Indian Evidence Act, let me opt for Evidence Act and click on Find Title. Now on the bottom, I am seeing the section list, right? So if I choose one, let's say section 27, how much of information received from accused may be proved. If I double click on this section, the software will now retrieve judgments on section 27 of the Evidence Act from all the jurisdictions. That's how we find a case law by section. Let's move back to the dashboard. We also have this option of finding by citation. Of course, in citation search, you can search, different citations are there. I mean, equivalent citations are there. Equivalent means uh, one citation, one publisher who has published it. If in any other leading publishing it has been also published, our editorial has done this work for you, that those citations have also been incorporated. And what is advantages, so that if you have the other publisher's citation also, that can be searched over here. It's searchable. So we have kept around 200 plus citations over here, formats, as you can see. Either you can select from the list, or you can type the publisher name over here, like I am searching for a year, and I'm getting the all the formats, High Court, Supreme Court, etc. So I'll select Supreme Court, enter the year, and page index also will appear on its own. So that has been created by our editorial. So I'll select the first page and click on Get Citation, which will now show the judgment which has been published in SCC John. As you can see on top, there is a citation of SCC. But when I move to I open the digest note and scroll down to the party name section. Here it has the citation for citations also mentioned. Apart from SCC, we have the AIR citation, we have the Criminal Law Journal citation, we have KLT citation, etc. So these are all equivalent citations. So instead of AIR, if I had a citation of Criminal Law Journal, I would have still been able to retrieve this document. Now let's move back to the dashboard. And I'll show you this most frequently, commonly used option of find by party name. And this party name can be searched not only by the party name, but a famous name, which is not the actual party name. The name made famous by media, whether it's a Sabarimala case, whether it's a Triple Talaq case, Babri Masjid case, Ayodhya case, etc., etc. So for that, you should search it in the search by famous case names section, the bottom half that we have this option. And in here, I'll type the famous case name, let's say Sabri. And the moment I did type Sabri, it gave me this suggestion, women entry in Sabrimala. So I'll select that, click on find case. The software will now decode and show the actual party name, the citation, that is Indian Young Lawyers Association versus State of Kerala. So this is one way of finding famous case names. But what about the names which are the original names of the parties? Then in that case, you should search by party name. First thing you'll do is you'll select the jurisdiction. Now, while I select the jurisdiction, it could be High Court or Supreme Court. At times, I might have a dilemma. I'm not sure which court. So I can opt for all jurisdiction as well. Now here I need to type the party name. Now I'm typing ADM Jabalpur. And the other party name is also can be mentioned over here, like versus Shivakant Shukla. So what I have done is, after entering the first party name, I am not keying in versus or V dot between the two party names. Just one blank space, which will show the unique judgment case law on the bottom. This citation, I will double click, which will open the judgment. The judgment has the digest notes also prepared by our editorial. As you can see, 67 in number. The second column has the titles of the judgment as well as the digest note for summaries prepared by our editorial. And in the central column, in the center of this second column, you see the labels like J and 5, which denote that J denotes that this is his full text judgment, and 5 is the quorum strength, the bench strength, number of judges were on the bench. Second one is a digest note, that is the summary prepared by our editorial, and 5 is the quorum strength. Now, there is another unique thing about the digest notes, that instead of even before you start reading it, there are catchwords within the titles. So the second one is talking about Constitution of India Articles 133 till 136. The third one is talking about Constitution of India Articles 12 to 35, and so on and so forth. So you can make out what it is talking. And when I scroll down to the next one, fifth one, there is an additional label appearing, and this denotes that this law point has been overruled. This is not a good law anymore. But remember one thing, that not the entire judgment is overruled. It's partially overruled, you can say. So few of the law points are overruled, and the rest of the law points are still a good law as such. Now, if I scroll down further at serial number 8, I can see one more, overruled law point. But can't I see all of the overruled law points in one place? Yes, I can. Just type overruled in search within search. So what will happen, that all the overruled law points will come together, appear together in the second column. There are 17 in number. The first one doesn't have an exclamation, means it's not overruled. Yes, we agree. This judgment is not overruled. Only a few law points are overruled. But why it is appearing in the overruled list right now is that overruled is mentioned somewhere in the judgment. Similarly, at law serial number 3, this law point is also not overruled, but overruled is discussed somewhere in the law. Now, let me open this overruled law point here, which is about Article 19, protection of certain rights, the 7 freedoms. And as per former Chief Justice Ray, his opinion on this particular law point is being mentioned over here. Justice Beg's opinion on this law point is mentioned. Followed by that, Justice Chandrachud's opinion and Justice Bhagwati's opinion. All the judges have given their opinion on this particular law point of Article 19, but Justice Khanna's opinion is dissenting. Therefore, his that's also mentioned in the brackets. Whether it's concurring or dissenting, you can come to know. And when I move to the footnote, in here it's mentioned in which case the law point has been overruled. It has been overruled in case Puttaswamy versus Union of India. Right. So all this information is prepared painstakingly by our editorial for the benefit of all the researchers. And if I also want to know the ADM Jabalpur case or the judgment, whether it has been cited in some other judgments or not, yes, of course, we can come to know that as well. In the third column, the toolbar, there is an icon, third icon known as case reference. When I click on this case reference, which is a lens and a small document in the background, one click on this and all the judgments will now appear where this ADM Jabalpur has been cited. So you have the Supreme Court judgment from 1996, MC Mehta versus Union of India. And if I click on this arrow in the third column, which will jump to that particular line where the citation is mentioned, and I can see that ADM Jabalpur versus Shivakant Shukla has been cited in this judgment. Now, when I scroll in the second column, I'm also seeing a judgment which is prior to ADM Jabalpur, which is before ADM Jabalpur. That's of the year 1950, A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras. So how come it's being mentioned or referred or cited here? This is just an input from our editorial. So on this Article 21, which was in contention, which was discussed in A.K. Gopalan, to understand it more, our editorial has given the input on the bottom. You can see more fully ADM Jabalpur versus Shivakant Shukla on this point. This is known as a backward referencing before that judgment. Now, when I scroll further, you can see many judgments, of course. And this one judgment I am talking about is State of Haryana versus Ranbir, wherein ADM Jabalpur versus Shivakant Shukla has been relied on. Right? Relied on is the treatment given to it. So you come to know that as well. That's again an editorial input. Now, not only this judgment on the similar line of law, there are some more. Divisional Controller KSRT versus Mahadev Shetty, Director of Settlements AP versus M.R. Apparao, and so on. So you get many fold, results to do your research. Not only one judgment or two judgments, you can multiply it with 3 to 4. So this is the kind of scope of research you get over here. Now, while I'm doing my research, I also realized that some of the judgments, some of the articles, some of the bills, etc., I want to save it. Of course, I can do that by clicking on the save button in the third column, and all of them will get saved separately as a separate document each time in the documents folder. But over a period of time, when I want to retrieve it, it will be a very difficult task, considering all of them will be, a mix. I have evidence law, I have contract act, I have penal code, etc. Everything get messed up, mixed up. So what is the better way? I can create my own folders in SCC and then store the relevant documents. I mean, relevant in the sense on that particular subject under that folder. So that's possible over here by opting for the add to my SCC online folders option. That is the second icon in the third column. One click on this and it will now show me the previous one that I had created. By default, it shows my folder. Now I'll change the folder. I'll click on change folder. This will take me to the next screen where I'll be creating one. I'll click on my folder on top, new folder on the bottom, and this way it gets created. Now it's not getting created on my PC, but on the SCC online server. But access will be through your login ID only. I mean, the whosoever is the creator will only have the access, not not everybody. Now it will prompt me to also rename it. So I'll just rename it. Don't put any special characters. Those are not allowed. And therefore, it's already existing. So I'll put a numeric also so that it gets created. Now it has been created. It has been rather renamed after getting created. And then I click on select folder. Now I can see my folder name, what all subject name you will give it to the folder name. It's now selected, and clicking on the OK button will now add this document in that folder. Now this is one. Let's move on. We are doing research over a period of time on that particular topic or subject, and I can find maybe 3, 4, 5 or more relevant documents, important documents, which I want to save for later on retrieval. So what are the steps? You will simply open the judgment or document which you want to save. Click on add to my SCC online, the second icon in the third column. Folder is already selected, no need to change it. Click on OK button and this gets saved. That's it. Now, after this all document saving is done, then I would also like to retrieve it. So how to retrieve the saved folders? Adjacent to the dashboard, there is an icon by the name My SCC Online, topmost second icon. And in this, you have an option of My Folders and View Folders. Right. So I'll click on this View Folders, which will now display all the folders that I have created. And the documents attached to it, their titles are being displayed in the second column. I'll just scroll down to the folder name so that you can also see that this is already selected. I mean, the latest one which all you create will be selected by default. And I can see the titles, and the text of the first among the titles is also being displayed in the third column. Now this is one part. I am creating my folders, I am saving documents, and I am retrieving. Now when I want to compete in the moot court, or later on in my profession when I am preparing my case, what all judgments I am citing over there, I will also produce a copy in the court. Now that copy cannot be simply printed out from the software and presented. No, you will have to have a format. Set pattern is there. You have to you ought to have the index page. You have to have the table of contents, etc. in first page, and followed by that the judgment should be also paginated accordingly. There should be page numbering done on that as well. Now this, if we do manually, will take us at least an hour or two, but in SCC it will be a matter of minute. So how to do that? Let's first select the documents of whom we want to prepare a compilation. I selected all of them. Adjacent to the result list, there is an action toolbar. And in the action toolbar, the last option that you see known as create case compilation, I'll click on that, which will now display the titles of whom I want to prepare the compilation. It'll also prompt me to name the compilation. Let me keep it as the name of the folder itself. And then on the bottom right, there's a create button. I'll click on that. I can also opt for A4 or legal size, etc. And once I click on the create button, the software in the background is now preparing the compilation for us. And in a while, as you can see, it's already up. It's also already prepared. The first thing we see here in the third column is a table of contents, which has the titles serial numbered and the page numbering also is mentioned. So which has been allocated by the software. So the first document ranges from page 1 to 17, obviously, because the second one is displayed as 18 number, and the next one is 24th number and 31st number page. And this table of content can also be edited. You can insert your notes. You can also key in the remarks, like on para number 2, page number 1 or page number 2. I want to discuss something. I can key in that as well over there. Then I'll save the changes by clicking on the save button, which will save these changes permanently. Now that was the first section, table of contents. Now let's move to the second one. In the second column, there are page numberings. So I'll click on page number range. And in the third column now, it will display the text of the judgments. And each and every page is paginated, as you can see on right top corner. And it will be paginated as per the table of contents. Right. So if we had from page number 1 to whatever number it was, immediately after that, the next page, the next judgment starts. So there are no blank pages in between. It's in continuation. Now I will download this compilation by clicking on the download case compilation icon, which is on top of the second column. It will get downloaded into most probably in my downloads folder. I'll retrieve it. You can just have a look how it will look like while I print. So this is the first page, table of contents, along with page numbering, serial number, etc. And followed by that, each and every document as paginated by the software internally. Now I can take a print of this and present it in the moot court or in my profession in the court itself. So that is the case compilation feature, which I was talking about. Now, there is another option of finding a judgment by topic. We have already seen how it works in word search. It's somewhat similar, but here you don't have to key in, let's say, the keywords. They are all prepared by our editorial for you. The major topics are there, like administrative law, arbitration, civil, aviation, criminal, taxation, excise, to name a few. Now I can select one among these. So I'm opting for administrative law. So you have judicial review, legitimate expectation, natural justice, ultra vires, etc., etc. So if I select one among these, let's say judicial review, on the bottom you will find 3 types of searches can be performed. Search everywhere, search in digest note, search in headings. Now, if while doing your research, you find that, oh, I don't have much time, maybe around an hour or so, then you should opt for search in headings. So how it works, when I click on go button, it will search for judicial review under administrative law. Means it will be a part of a heading title. As you can see, the first one, administrative law, judicial review. And these are only digest notes from the Supreme Court of India, nothing else. So you're getting a very concise and very limited, amount of information, considering the paucity of time, right? Now, when I have maybe 3-4 hours at my disposal, then what I can do is, let me just go back to the find by topic. And instead of, selecting from the list, let me type that over here. That was judicial review. And when I click on find title, it's being displayed not only under administrative law, but under educational law, under labor law, under housing and real estate, under service law, and so on and so forth. Huge list. So this is an index created by our editorial. So a topic can fall under many a statute list as well. the way other publishers have, prepared their indexes like AI and all, so has our editorial as well. Now, instead of administrative law, let me pick labor law, select judicial review, but instead of search in headings, now I'll opt for search in digest notes. So what will happen here is it's not necessary that it will be a heading where labor law will be the principal topic and judicial review the secondary or subheading. I can see it's also picking up digest notes from Constitution of India. Of course, administrative law is there. Then you will find it under that topic of labor as well. I can understand that, and the rest of the topics that we were there. So it has its scope has increased, and so has the results. So, but again, only the digest notes from Supreme Court. So this is how I can perform a search when I have some 3-4 hours with me. But what about when I am preparing for, let's say, my moot court and all? I have 2 days, 3 days with me. I have ample time. Then I should opt for search everywhere. So same topic, let me take, select and find topic. Take for that matter any, you take service law. Under this I am selecting, but it doesn't have any impact. It will not be, only under service law that it will search. It will search everywhere. It will not only search everywhere in the Supreme Court digest note, but it will also search within the digest notes of High Court, within the full text judgments of Supreme Court, High Court, or the lower courts, all the jurisdictions, as well as the notifications, bills, articles, etc., etc. As you can see, the first column, there is a humongous increase in the results, which comprises not only the digest notes, but also the judgments and the rest of the databases that I was talking. So this can be used when you have ample time for doing your legal research as far as finding by a topic is concerned. And the last option here is known as words and phrases. So this words and phrases, you can get the definitions of all the words and phrases over here. So let me just give you an example of one here, bias. I'm typing bias, I'm clicking on the show button. On the bottom window, I'm seeing the definition. Now this definition is not picked from any resource. Anywhere. It is picked from specific resources, either the statutory law or the Supreme Court of India judgments or from the Wharton Dictionary of UK. And this definition on bias here, in this case, has been picked from Transport Department versus Munnas from Badaliar. This citation is hyperlinked. If I click on this, it will open that judgment in a new window. Similarly, if I move down further, I can see another definition from Kumaon Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited versus Girija Shankar Pant. Again, hyperlinked. I can open this judgment. And the third judgment, third definition on bias from State of West Bengal versus Shivananda Pathak. And the abbreviation at the bottom, WHRT in square brackets, denotes that this is a definition from the Wharton Dictionary of the UK. So these many resources we have as far as the definitions of legal words and phrases is concerned. Now, one more thing I wanted to show you, apart from the case compilation and doing your case referencing, etc. That one is when I want to copy a portion of the judgment. Now you will notice that this judgment has, it doesn't start with the judgment full text itself. It starts with the catch notes and the summary or the digest notes prepared by our editorial. Therefore, the manual method of highlighting with the mouse and then copying using the shortcut method doesn't work here. What you need, what you can do is you can copy the paragraphs from the judgment. And what are the steps for that? How to do that? I'll just show you. I'll click on the name of judge so that it jumps to the judgment paragraphs. Now, each and every paragraph that you see in the judgment has one clipboard icon, one notepad icon small. So before, let's say para number 4, then para number 5, then para number 3, and so on and so forth. So multiple selections can be done by clicking on this clip. Once these get tick marked, what I will do now, I will opt for an option here known as smart copy, which is in the form of a tick mark and a document in the background. And one click on this, what it will do is it will now extract these selected paras and the same sequence. I had opted for 4 numbers para, 5 number para, and then 3 number para. Same sequence has been retained. Each and every para will have the source also mentioned, that it's taken, extract is taken from so and so judgment, this is the citation, this is the equivalent citation, and this is the page number and all. And here I can also opt for manual copy paste method. I mean, out of the entire para, only 3-4 lines I want to copy, I can do that. I can also mail it across to myself or my colleague as well by entering the email ID and clicking on the send mail. So this is the copy paste feature in the software. And of course, I would also like to print. For printing, you will find 2 types of prints. One is true print and the other one is non-true print. And what is the difference between the two? True print is the exact photo image of or photo of the print journal that you have in your library. So if you take a photocopy of the journal from library and present it in the court, or you take a true print from SCC and present it in the court, both are same. They are acceptable because it will have the image copy, as you can see over here. It will have the same format, paragraph, pagination, etc. So that's why it is called as a true print. Will print it just like the format, and that can be used for your internal purpose, for your office purpose. Second copy can be kept over here in the form of a non-true print. Now let's move back to the main menu over here and come to the next section, that is my library. Now in my library, as I was talking about in the beginning, you have to simply click and view the documents. No need of doing, no method of keying in from the giving the input and all that stuff. So suppose if I want to read an article, I'll go to the browse articles section. And in the browse article section, I have around 70 plus top leading scholarly professional journals from leading national law universities and other, magazines and institutions of repute. So either I can select from the list, or if I have a topic in mind, I can use the filter option. So I was recently reading one on climate change. I'll filter this out. Once I filter it out, the titles are displayed. So this one is from Developing World Review on Trade and Commerce, which is on climate change. And same way, I have another one from Environment Law Practice, this journal, is talk about the climate change. Now, apart from these leading law review journals that we have, we also have collected essays as well as Tagore law lectures. Tagore law lectures are the entire series is from 1870 till 1942. That all falls under the article section. Now coming to the browse acts and rules, and here you will get the Constitution of India, the Central Acts, the State Acts, notifications, etc. But in Central Acts, we have also incorporated some additional information for you. So let me just browse through one of the acts. Let's say take the example of Evidence Act, and in the Evidence Act, the entire barrack will be now displayed in the second column. I can save, mail, and print it at one go. While browsing through the chapters, you will find these highlighted lines also appearing in between. So this is something extra, additional from apart from the barrack that we have incorporated over here. Our editorial has shortlisted important judgment on the topics or subjects. As you can see over here, applicability. On applicability, you have Union of India versus C.R. Verma. Again, this is a hyperlink citation. If I click on this, it will open that in a new window. And the commentaries that you see in here, the text, these are also picked from the same judgment. Now on applicability, we have some 4 or 5 citation references, and the followed by that natural justice, we have another citation shortlisted and hyperlinked over here. When I scroll down further, reading the Bare Act, again at regular intervals, you will find these highlighted lines, like we have one on evidence, the important judgment reference over here, citation reference over here, interpretation, construction, standard of proof, fact, elevation of evidence, circumstantial evidence, so on and so forth. So this is in addition to the Bare Act that you are getting access to, something as an add-on or something as an extra from our editorial. Now I can also browse through the judgments by courts, whether it's Supreme Court, High Court, or lower courts. I can also browse by law reports. I'll skip these two for you to self-explore and come to the browse curated topics. Now this browse curated topics was prepared by our editorial, some 10, 12 areas of law, you can say, constitutional law, public law, corporate, commercial, intellectual, and all. So when I opt for one, let's take the example of constitutional law. Now under constitutional law, you'll find the large bench decisions. Some of them have been placed over here. You have a topic, broad topic on privacy and basic structure. When I open basic structure, it will show me the case laws on basic structure, the handpicked and shortlisted, are placed by our editorial over here. Now, moving ahead, the one on privacy. Now, this will have some more information. It will have the constitutional document, it will have the statutory law, it will have the case laws, articles as well. You can see. When I open the constitutional document, so you have, as far as the privacy is concerned, what is the constitutional document? Preamble apart, the article 14, 19, 21, 25, 8, 28. They talk about the privacy. Now, followed by that, in this statutory law, I'll see not only apart from constitutional law, what we have is Constitution of India, what we have is POCSO, couple of sections, IT Act, 3 sections, Aadhaar, Evidence Act, Penal Code, and Juvenile Justice Care. So these specific sections are also directly related to privacy, have been picked from different databases and placed over here in this, under this umbrella at one place. So all the information has been curated, handpicked, and placed here in one, under one category related to that. Same goes with the case laws as well. So you will not find hundreds of judgments on privacy over here, but only a select few, maybe only a handful, shortlisted by our editor. So it's kind of a quick referencer that we have here in place as far as the curated topics is concerned. Now, moving ahead, secondary materials. Yes, of course, we have the bills in Parliament, which were introduced and passed in both the houses, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. All of them are there. Then the constitutional documents we were talking about. So entire Constituent Assembly debates, that is volume 1 to 12 are available. And there is an index also, conversion table also from the Constitution of India article to draft article. So what were the dates on which it was discussed and approved? That's also mentioned. So 5A in the draft was finally an Article 6, and it was finally incorporated on 12th August to 1914, and so on and so forth. So you come to know that information as well. And we have historical trials, we have policy documents from various departments of the government, whether it's agriculture, whether it's art and culture, whether it's education, electricity, to name a few. And reports of commissions and committees, which I was talking about, it's a very growing list. We have Iyengar, we have Damodaran and all. But the important one I'm focusing here is on law commission reports, which are available to you before independence as well as the present ones. So if I browse through the present one, I think the last report was around 278 or something like that. I'm not exactly remember. Yeah, 277. That was the last report on the Law Commission report that is available here. Then browsing the treaties of multilateral and bilateral with other countries, that's also available here in the browse treaties section. And moot court resources are such a useful resource for preparation of your moot court competitions. Now, this information is not available on the free source websites and all that. If you are trying to, these are all propositions which were held in those moot courts. And what was the memo winning team? All that you'll get. Let me explore one, like DSNLU, Competition Commission of India. What was the problem? And that's the moot proposition. And then followed by that, you have the winning team memo for both appellant and dispo. This information, how we have got it, because we were sponsoring their moot courts, and therefore we were having access to their databases. So this will help you in preparation for the moot courts. And legal business news is another section which has been added recently. Again, it makes an interesting read, whether any jurisdiction, Supreme Court, High Court, even foreign courts or lower courts, and cabinet decisions, etc. You will get the commentaries from our editor. So when you browse through any of the jurisdictions, let's take the example of Supreme Court. These are the month, the dates, today we are sitting at 26th, and we have one from 24th and 23rd and things like that. All these topics that you see over here, it's not a party name or citation or something like that. It has been prepared by our editorial. So you can see the title here: irregular disciplinary inquiry. Court cannot reinstate employee as such. Matter must be remanded to inquiry officer, disciplinary authority. So Supreme Court judgment headed by Justice M.R. Shah. What was the factual background? Analysis done by our editorial. Doctrine of equality is the being discussed over here on the basis of that. Then violation of principle of natural justice, and finally you can also read the entire judgment if you are interested in. There's a hyperlink citation available. So this you should regularly visit because it is updated almost daily, and you get to read it in an interesting format as well. Now, these this covers the entire operation of SCC, whether it is any research thing or browsing through the library. But another aspect is there that's of help. There is a question mark, third icon on the toolbar. When you opt for that help, in the help it will open a new web page, which is a kind of a help page where you can see the frequently read articles, how to use the case compilation, how to use case reference, how to smart copy, etc. If I click on one of them, one of the options here like smart copy, it will illustrate that with an example. Now this is one. Second way of getting some help here is by going to the category section. In the category, there are some 5-6 options. I'll opt for, let's say, search methods. I want to know more about what the you or operator does or how to use the not operator. Again, I'll click on this and it will illustrate that with an example. And one more aspect. In the browse category itself, there is an option of webinars as well. The third or the last option over here. Now, these are all some shortlisted 7-8 recordings webinars we did in the previous 2 pandemic years, and the titles are there. If you talk about advanced search, you want to know more about advanced search, I'll click on this title. I'll briefly explain that title, and on the bottom there is a YouTube link available. You can watch it later as well. So this is the help feature within the software in the form of this question. Now I'll just conclude this presentation as such, but yes, we'll open the question answer round now. And before I do that, Mohit, is there anything else you want to add in?
I guess everything has been covered well, Mr. Raina.
Okay, thank you. So over to you, students and the dignitaries who are present right now. Any question, any queries, most welcome. You can unmute and ask.
Thank you, sir. I have a question.
Yeah.
You said when you said about this login user, you
I think I'm.
said about that
Yeah,
IP
your voice. Yeah. Sugandhi ma'am, you're not audible. I mean, the voice is breaking in between. I guess it was regarding IP access. I'm sorry, ma'am. I couldn't get your query because there was a break in between the voice. So if you can either repeat or put it in the chat as well, that will help. In the meanwhile, Puvita has also raised a hand. Puvita, you can also unmute and ask the query.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, Puvita. Yeah.
Sir, usually
Yeah, am I
what
audible, sir? Yes, sir. Okay. Now it's clear,
Yes,
right?
yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Nandini ma'am, you are also audible now.
Sure, sir,
No, I
ma'am.
asked
Let's
regarding the
finish,
remote
sir.
access to SCC.
Yeah, remote access. Tell me.
Sir, am I
Yes,
audible
ma'am.
now? Uh,
Yes,
Hello,
yes.
sir. That is regarding remote access. How the student can
Still, there was a break in the voice, but though it's about a remote access, I guess. For remote access, do we have any, access to that MyLoft? That was the remote access with you, I guess. I guess if you're talking about the remote access, which has been provided by SCC online, then I can elaborate on that. And
Yes, I guess she's talking about the remote access.
remote access only if you're talking about, ma'am. So the MyLoft is the tool that was initially provided, and for that purpose, what you need to do is you need to register uh, first, and that registration is possible when all the IDs are provided to us. And on MyLoft will register those email IDs of the students and faculty. Once that registration is completed, once the email IDs are registered, all the registered participants or the students or faculty will receive an email to set the password. And when you click on that set password, it will then, after setting the password, you will be then accessing it like this. You'll first open the website myloft.xyz. That is the extension. And when you, let me do that, myloft.xyz. And in here, I'll just either log in or launch the app which I have downloaded. So I have launched it. First thing you'll need to do is you need to first select your institute. So if for trial period, we provide the institute name as SCC Online. So the user has to select SCC Online as the institute for the time being till the university is on board, and once subscribed will be accessible through their name, university name. When you select SCC Online, you will click on continue button, proceed ahead, then enter your credentials, that is your email ID which has been registered with the MyLoft, and the password that has been already set by the user. That password has to be entered over here, and click on sign, which will now give us access to the databases or linked on MyLoft. So the first panel, home, and then this just below home, there is e-resources option, and then databases. You'll click upon that, and you will see the links of all the resources. Now in here, I have this SCC Online, so this link I'll click upon, which will open the window, the page, home page of that. And in the login, I would be seeing this IP login even if I am residing, I am accessing it remotely, whether from my home or my office or whatever. So this remote access needs to be in place. And once the remote access is no, registered with the user name and user ID, especially the email ID is registered with, you then will be able to access it with the steps that I have just shown. I hope that maybe clarifies a little bit of what you were seeking, Sutatni ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear, sir. Thank you, sir.
Great.
Is any other question,
So,
Puvita?
Puvita, yeah, Puvita.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Sir, so my question is relating to while doing legal research in general. So most often we first stumble upon articles, articles related to a certain case laws, and later that in those articles we wouldn't find any citation.
In the articles, I think I have lost your voice.
Yeah, sir, no, sir, not in newspaper articles which we find on Google, Hindu, or India Times. So, like, do you suggest
Uh-huh.
any way to link? How do we find the citations for those articles? Sir? Because recently, while researching, it's really hard to find the case title of the cases which have been mentioned in those articles.
See, you're talking, I let me just try to understand better. The articles that you are browsing through or you're reading through from some resources, there you are also getting the citation references of case laws, I
No, so we
guess.
don't we don't get the citation reference. Sir. We just the case is named by a popular name for the case. So the
Mhm.
citation is not there. So we just get
All right.
contentions from the case from the article. So like how do we use it for more research in SEC? How do we connect or interlink those two? Sir?
Yes, I'll tell you. One, there are a couple of things. If you, while reading the article, there's a mention of the, not the citation, but the party name. You can search it by the party name, whether it is a famous case name or a party name as such, actual party name. You can opt for this. And what all is the contention which is mentioned in the article itself. On the basis of that, if you want judgments or documents, of course, you should always opt for the word search. And what all has been discussed over here, what all has been the contention over here, you can simply type. I'm just reading one article was there and it was on freedom of speech. I'll just type freedom of speech in double inverted commas so that it searches a single word. Click on start search and it will now show up all the judgments, documents from every jurisdiction, whether it's High Court, Supreme Court, etc. I'm just giving you a brief example over here. So right here I have the summary, right? And it's the Supreme Court judgment digest note. It's talking about Article 19, freedom of speech. When I scroll down to the bottom, I also see some citation references over here. And if I want to also switch to the full text judgment of this particular digest note or a law point, which is on Article 19, I can now open the entire judgment by clicking on the citation hyperlinked over here, which will open this judgment in a new window. And I can read the entire judgment as well. So I hope this answers your query, Pavita.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear, sir.
Any other questions, students? Any other questions? I'll call upon our Dean School of Law to give a feedback to share something regarding the SCC online tool.
All right, till the queries are coming up, I'll also show you one more thing. If you remember in the beginning, we were talking about the blog. And when I open this SCC online blog, which is new web page over here, you have various links available. And the one that is case briefs. Now, this is something, which is these case laws are very recent. They're yet to be published or in the journal, etc. But a brief has been prepared by our editorial, so therefore they are uploaded right here. Now, it is either the Constitution Bench or the Supreme Court or High Court or lower courts as well, even foreign courts as well. Now, I'll just take the example of Supreme Court, the normal bench, two judges or more. Now, when I scroll down, it's displaying the text, of the title of one among many. This is dated 25th yesterday. And lottery is a species of betting and gambling. States legislature competent to levy tax. Supreme Court fixes outer limit for claiming COVID-19 death compensation. Claims to be filed within 90 days from now on. If I click on any of the titles, it will now show me the case brief. When I scroll down and I can see over here, headed by Justice Shah, what all has been the gist of this, the case brief prepared by our editorial. On the bottom, you can see the party name, the citation, and the decision date, that is 24th of March 22. Now this 24th March 22 judgment, I'm sure in SCC there is a turnaround time of 24 hours to 72 hours. So it is maybe might be uploaded sometime. But as a researcher, if you have very recent judgment you want to look upon and you are not able to find in SCC, just go to the blog and browse through the case briefs. It might be having some information here. Same is the case over here. It's yet to be uploaded on the SCC. Because why I'm saying so? Because if it had been uploaded, there would be a citation hyperlink as well. SCC online, then you can click and view the entire full text judgment on our portal. Now, apart from the case briefs, which are latest as well available, you have editorial opinion, some articles are here. Law made easy, again interesting articles, frequently updated. Know thy judge will show you the particular judge's career graph, beginning from maybe an advocate, then promoting, getting into the judgeship, and then the landmark judgments, notable judgments delivered by the judge and all. That is interesting read again. And one more link I would like to highlight here is the law school news. It's related to the students. What all moot courts have been announced pan India. Any ADR debate competition announcement is there. Moot court competition achievements reports is there. On live blogging and the rest, to name a few. So all this information is also going to be of some interest and use to the students. So my this SCC online blog, of course, keeps you up to date. If you open this blog, it will also show you allow notifications. So when you allow those notifications, so you will get the notifications right here on your desktop or even in your mobile when you open this and put the notifications on. And you can also get all these case briefs in the form of newsletter by entering your email ID, which is a free subscription. Click on subscribe. Every week, what all case briefs are there for that week will be then, delivered onto your into your mailbox as well. So that is the SCC online blog website that I was talking about.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other questions from the students? We expect more questions from the students. If you are not able to unmute, you can post it in the chat box also.
Yes. Till the queries are coming, I'll just show you one small thing and then I'll definitely to pause. That is when you are browsing through the section list. And suppose I had shown you an example, Evidence Act section 27. Now, there could be an occasion where you have more than one section to search upon simultaneously, which is not possible through the case law by section search, because it will give you only one section at a time opportunity to search upon. So when I have two sections to be searched simultaneously, go to the word search, key in the act, that's penal code. Let's say I'm partially typing, partially only penal. Deepan has also raised a hand, but let me just finish it once. Penal Code section 420, Negotiable Instrument Act section 138. I'm partially typing both these like this. And then in between, if you remember the operator near, which will search for them in a range of 10 words. So I'm not worried about whether it is mentioned in the judgment as S dot or SS dot or S section or SCC, because obviously they are searching nearby. Obviously the act and the number will be pertaining to section only. And this will now show up results or show up documents or judgments where both these sections have been discussed. So you can see a Bombay High Court judgment where section 138 and penal 420 has been discussed in this criminal case judgment. Deepan sir, you were raising your hand. You can unmute now, sir.
Yes, you can post your questions. Can I request the law faculty, anyone to give your feedback regarding this SCC online training?
Good morning, sir. Myself, Radha, law faculty. I would like to give. So, am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am, you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it was a wonderful session, sir. It was very useful where we can able to use how the resources has to be, and the last one which you have also mentioned, that how we need to get access with the sections and the articles, also the SCC blogs. So it was a very informative session for us. Even we can also educate the students whenever they are in need. So thank you for your wonderful presence over here, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure.
Thank you, Radha ma'am. Is anyone else going to give your feedback? So I think there is no more questions. Can we end up the session, sir?
Sure, ma'am. I once again thank all the dignitaries present here. Thank you, Sugandhi ma'am, and also the dean, HOD sir, whosoever has been instrumental in arranging this session for the benefit of all. And last but not least, the all this participants, the students who have listened to us patiently. I thank you all. Thank you very much. Have a good day, good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to give my vote of thanks. On behalf of the management Vistas, I would like to thank you, sir. It was really a wonderful session. We really understood each and every point you categorized, how to find out, categorize, how to filter and find out the judgments. Everything was really useful for both the faculty members as well as the students. Thank you very much for this session, sir. We are looking forward to work on this SCC online and looking further for furthermore training if required from the side of the students. Thank you very
Ma'am,
much, sir.
pleasure. Thank you, Sugandhi. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants. We can end the session for today. Thank you.